Chapter 21 89-90. All lizard men are soldiers. He gritted his teeth and thought about his response strategy, but the next mental gun was already chasing after him. Sun Wu'er stayed beside Zhang Dawen, protecting him while waiting for the right opportunity to step forward and finish him off. Baum's voice was transmitted through the communication channel to the high-level meeting in the palace and the ears of various Epsilon-level aliens. Something's wrong. The enemies we're facing this time are very different. These guys are very aware of our capabilities, and it seems that they're taking targeted measures against us. Combined with everything that happened during the previous war, I can be sure that a large amount of our intelligence has been leaked. The entire Empire's top leadership was shocked at this moment. The enemy's attack came without warning and was extremely well prepared, even if they didn't want to admit it. The human coalition has indeed figured them all out. Ci's expression was very complicated, but at the moment there was no other way but to fight. He immediately said to the ministers sitting at the table, "My dear ministers, how should we deal with the enemy now? The emperor is not omnipotent. He is good at governing the country, but he is not good at dealing with foreign invasions." But after hearing Ci's words, the ministers below looked at each other in confusion. Because in the entire empire, the people who are best at marching and fighting are already on the battlefield. What good ideas can the rest of the people come up with? We can only wait for good news from the front line. The finance minister spoke first. All we can do now is stabilize the rear and prevent the people from getting into chaos. Grand Marshal Zheng Lu is still fighting. As long as he successfully eliminates the enemy leader, we will have an absolute advantage in this battle. Someone immediately echoed, "That's right. Our Wulwan Empire has spent a great deal of resources to cultivate a powerful being of this caliber. He is our patron saint, and we must trust him." But some people stood up and objected. "If we just wait here for news, what can we do for them?" My suggestion is that the country must enter a state of emergency preparedness now. The one speaking was the Minister of Transport, an old lizard man with a white beard and a highly respected member of the royal family. Ce looked at him and said, "Duke Celtu, do you have any suggestions?" Duke Celtu leaned on his cane and said seriously, "The war has now spread to our country, and we still have more than 20 million people. If the troops are wiped out, the people will hardly survive. It's better to give them weapons and let them go to the front lines to fight the enemy. We, the Wulwan people, possess strong physiques, giving us a natural advantage against those weaker sixth-generation humans. Don't waste this advantage." But someone has refuted the transport minister's remarks. Those people have no training. Even if they take up arms and go to the battlefield, they will die in vain. Do you know how many people will die? The Minister of Transport said darkly, "As long as the foundation of the empire remains, can it be reborn no matter how many people are sacrificed? Now is not the time to be soft-hearted. Everyone should be a soldier." That's what the Minister of Transport meant. Many people below also agreed with the Minister of Transport's opinion. If we don't allow those people to take up arms and go to the battlefield, do we have to let their families go? Soldiers on the front lines are fighting, and their private armies are defending their homes and property. Then they can only let the lizard people of the Wulwan Empire become their barrier. Ce frowned deeply after hearing these words. "I won't resort to this method until the last step." However, even so, he immediately added, "Open the armory and distribute weapons to every household now. Tell them that if the enemy truly breaks into the empire, we hope they will fight together to defend our homeland. Someone will be assigned to carry out this task immediately." However, the Minister of Transport stopped him and said, "Only weapons below level 3 can be issued. Weapons above level 3 have too much lethality. If some lizard men turn their guns around and take the opportunity to overthrow them, that is not what they want to see." Soon, a notification from the Imperial Security Department to every household was broadcast on the radio. Because the lizard people are all equipped with electronic chips, everyone will receive accurate notifications. "Fellow citizens of the Wulwan Empire, our homeland has been invaded by the land people. Now our warriors are bravely resisting these hateful invaders. Protecting our homeland is everyone's responsibility. Once they invade the empire, they will surely massacre everyone. Therefore, I hope that the responsible and accountable people of the Wulwan tribe will bravely take up arms and defend our common homeland. Soon, the Empire's armory was opened, and a large number of weapons were transported to the streets by flying cars and handed over to every lizard man. Anyone who can hold a weapon, whether old or young, will be given one, with no limit on the quantity. A soldier handed a high-energy explosive grenade to a young boy and said to him, "If the enemy rushes here, you will detonate it and die with the enemy." A look of fear flashed in the boy's eyes, but the soldier stuffed the grenade firmly into his hand. "Be a man, don't be a coward." After the soldier finished speaking, he went to distribute weapons to other people. When necessary, these elderly people, women, and children can be more deceptive and can kill the enemy unexpectedly. At this time, the front line was in chaos. All major military camps were bombed by the death of love, and the troops assembled now are only over 100,000. But you have to know that the mechanical army brought by Zhang Yi has 50,000 combat-type mechanical life forms. In addition, there are 50,000 soldiers concentrated in various regions. Everything is going according to plan, although a fierce confrontation has begun between the Inhumans of the Ypsilon level. But at the military level, the Huashu National Coalition has an overwhelming advantage. I have to say that the Songyuan clan's technology is really useful. One after another, super-large mechanical life forms broke through the city wall. Although their movements were slow, they moved forward firmly. The East City defense line is still hundreds of kilometers away from the core living area, but that doesn't matter, because there is nothing now that can stop their advance. Only above the sky, the huge iron curtain continued to rain down thick laser cannons like meteor showers. However, this kind of energy attack will be offset by about 70% by the energy shield of the super-large mechanical life form. Chapter 2191, Causal Chain Rhine. No one knows better than the Songyuan clan how to face mechanized warfare. They are one of the few ethnic groups that did not perish at the end of the civilization era, but were destroyed instead by the wrong direction of their own civilization. But their strength is unquestionable. Throughout history, they had faced numerous disasters that could have destroyed civilization, but they had always survived, until they vanished into the loneliness of the long years. It is not so much that humans destroyed the Songyuan clan, but rather that it was they themselves who destroyed them. The 12 super-large mechanical life forms are like 12 moving steel mountains, equipped with hundreds of large-caliber energy cannons and tens of thousands of small-caliber laser weapons. A large number of combat mechanical life forms relied on them and crushed towards the Wulwan army. In this era, the coordinated combat method of infantry and tanks has reappeared. It has to be said that war is also a cycle. The Wulwan Empire also has mechanical war beasts, but they cannot be compared with mechanical life forms. Those combat ships hanging high in the sky could not break through the energy shield defense of the mechanical life forms. Instead, they became sitting ducks in the sky and were accurately hit by laser cannons. There was war everywhere, explosions everywhere, and the harsh sound of steel colliding. The mechanical army swarmed onto the land of the Wulwan Empire like ants, slamming into the defense line of the Wulwan Empire army. If it weren't for the fire support of the Iron Curtain of the Sky, the army of the Wulwan Empire would have been smashed to pieces in an instant. The high-ranking aliens of the Wulwan Empire saw this scene, but they could do nothing, because at this moment, they are all in big trouble. Bang's words reminded them, but even if Bang didn't say it, they would have realized the problem. At this time, Rhine, who was also a senior military official in the Northeast War Zone, was in such a difficult battle. Silver-armored general, Rhine faces a challenge from Xiongqi Huahua. As a powerful war beast under Zhang Yi, Huahua has acquired excellent combat capabilities after Zhang Yi's years of training at all costs. This is a tough guy who usually eats centipedes as spicy snacks. Because he was assigned to be alone, he had to fight Rhine alone. Of course, it possesses intelligence no less than that of humans, and under Yang Xinxin's instructions, it also carried out targeted training for the target at hand. Rhine, who possesses strengthening abilities, can reach an astonishing 10 meters in length when in actual combat. But in front of him was a giant beast with wings that was over 200 meters in size. Huahua slowly approached him sideways. The beard on his cheeks was like a sharp spear, and his amber eyes exuded a strong murderous intent. There was no urgency in it, as if it were staring at a fat mouse. Ryan took a deep breath and took out his weapon, a huge, heavy sickle that was as tall as he was. One end of the black sickle is like a war hammer, and the other end has a sharp sickle blade. For the enhanced aliens who mainly rely on strength, the heavier the weapon, the more they like it. He had received Bang's warning, and the giant beast in front of him was obviously a monster with powerful close combat ability. However, when he really encountered such an opponent, Ryan was not afraid. I am a human being, not a beast. The bigger I am, the stronger I am. Ryan roared, then stomped his legs hard on the ground. Under the powerful force, the earth exploded instantly, and his body crashed towards Huahua like a meteor. The huge heavy scythe was aimed at Huahua's legs. Roar! Huahua roared like a tiger. Comparing your reaction speed with a cat is a pipe dream. Even if your opponent is a lizard, it won't work. Although its body is huge, Huahua is still as fast as the wind. Its one movement instantly causes a violent storm. Laugh. Ryan's sickle fell into the air, but the giant beast disappeared. But soon, Ryan found that his body was shrouded by a huge shadow. He turned around suddenly, and Huahua's huge body jumped high, then slapped him with a claw. The claws with sharp and huge barbs hit the back of his head directly. Ryan had no time to turn around, so he simply freed up his left hand to fight Huahua. The huge fist looks so tiny next to the even bigger cat's paw. Bang! The collision of extreme physical strength instantly shattered the ground beneath Ryan's feet, and his body was smashed deeply into the soil like a nail. At this moment, the bones in his arm also showed signs of breaking. Crack! A huge breaking sound was heard. But soon, an angry cat roar came from Huahua's mouth. Its body retreated rapidly, standing on the ground with only 3 legs, and one claw was subconsciously raised. After that attack, just now, its claws actually showed signs of fracture. The pain from the bones is more unbearable than the pain from the skin and flesh. After a while, Ryan suddenly jumped out from under the ground, and the place where he appeared was actually under Huahua's belly. Ryan is very smart. Although Huahua has hardened hair like a hedgehog to protect its body, its soft abdomen is still its weakness. When it becomes huge, such problems are inevitable. The sharp sickle was aimed at Huahua's belly, drawing a full moon in the air, and was about to rip Huahua open. It's a pity that he underestimated the 5 senses of cats. This kind of ground-based attack was too obvious, and Huahua had already discovered him. Huahua didn't take the sickle seriously at all, and stretched out her other claw to smash it directly. In this attack, the collision of forces, Huahua still has an absolute advantage. Ryan's body was slammed into the ground. But the next moment, Huahua's amber eyes suddenly narrowed, and a sharp pain came from her torso. Roar! Its roar shook the earth, and it immediately leaped far back on 3 legs. Ryan emerged from the ground again, holding a huge, heavy scythe in his hand, with blood flowing from the corners of his mouth, but wisps of light blue air emerged from his body, slowly repairing his body. I'm so sorry. All the damage you've done to me will be returned to you proportionally. So, if you really want to kill me, you will die too. Ryan, a user of the enhancement type, has a 25,000-point psychic index and the ability, Causal Chain. He can target anyone who harms him, responding with damage proportional to the damage inflicted. The strength of this ability will be reduced when used by people with too high a level of supernatural power. However, for enemies of similar level, you will suffer the same proportion of damage to the enemy as the enemy suffers. Stay with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.